Here comes a new challenger. Crit Hit versus Aviary Attorney.
Hey there, folks! Arlyeon here with another episode of Crit Hit Versus. On this episode, we're diving into Aviary Attorney, which is basically like an extremely pun-filled version of Phoenix-Wright crossed with Hatoful Boyfriend in, like, friggin' France during the bourgeoisie period. Yeah. It's not just birds, though. There's also, like, a frog who is murdered, and a lion, and a cat named Madame de Meow. Actually, here, you know what? I can open up my Facebook. It's literally a Facebook. To show you all the terrible goddamn puns already. Pertoir de Meow, which is also how they spell meow, specifically in French. Bilingual bonuses abound. That's a thing. Caterline de Meow. Grenouille, which, by the way, is basically the French way to say frog. So that's another pun. Those are probably puns, but I actually don't remember what that is in English. Colline de Haut. Du Haut is of height, and she's a giraffe. Vertically enabled. That's... yeah, okay. That's fine. That's all fine. Also, I've been collecting evidence, of which I feel this red herring is going to be incredibly important, and even if not, I'm going to present it every single court case and lose horribly. Sound plans. What shall we do now? Maybe I should have come here the first day? Whoops. Yes. Yes! Maybe. Sorry to be against such barbaric suggestions. Smashing the door down now. I dig the art style for it. What in bird Jesus' name was that? Ah. It's going well already. Ostentatious. Alright. Chandelier. Should get one of those for the office. I don't have the money for that sort of luxury. I see a finely dressed dandy fellow upon a horse. A lighthouse? No, wait, it's a man in a top hat. Actually, if I squint and turn my head sideways, it's a black smudge falcon. A picture of a sailing ship on a windy day? This is a tiny photograph of what appears to be a jail cell. That reminds me. How illegal is this? You know, breaking and entering, rifling through a person's belongings? It's okay. A recently passed amendment allows for proportionate amounts of property damage in the pursuit of criminal evidence. I don't think that's correct, but your use of legal jargon makes me have faith in your credentials. Sounds like you're starting to learn the finer points of the French justice system's sparrow son. Hey Falcon, look. What? It's just an easel. No. Look at what's on the easel. Oh wow. This must be a copy of the photograph for the evening of the murder. There's no question about it. I see a housemaid, Madame Caterline, and I think that's Seigneur Pertoir, Caterline's father. So what should we do? Do we just take this? We've come this far, we may as well borrow it. Oh yeah. Is there anything else we need to do here? Yes. Yes, we need to check everything. This is a picture of a fence. It's a fancy photograph. It leaves the viewer defenseless. Out of all the pictures here, I would pick it as my favorite. Okay, I'm done. No more fence puns. I have a firm appreciation for this game. A butterfly, or maybe a moth. It's difficult to tell in black and white. This is a photograph of a castle somewhere in the countryside. You know, I once had an uncle who once fell off a castle rampart while on guard duty. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Did he die? No, he got demoted. Ugh. This appears to be a photograph of a ladder, symbolic of climbing towards success, perhaps? It looks more like a step ladder to me. Oh no, we're not getting into that old argument. A beautiful picture of the Paris skyline. Given the angle, this must have been taken from Notre Dame Cathedral itself. I see paints, inks, and dyes. I'm not quite sure what the clear liquid in this bottle is. I could taste test it. You could, but we don't have time for a hospital visit right now. So let's not. It's probably turpentine. I see a bourgeois tigress in profile. Okay, is that everything? Have I... Yes, I'm pretty sure I saw everything. I think we're done snooping. Let's get out of here before we draw further attention to ourselves. Sounds good to me. Off I go. I am totally fucking caught. Oh mon dieu! What happened to my door? Some kids did it. Little weasel types. We saw them. Yeah, weasels. They were all like, let's break into this art guy's house. And we were like, no weasels. You cannot do that because that'd be illegal. And they were like, we chased them off. That's the important thing. Well, thank you, I suppose. I do not have a fixed accent for him. It's going to swish around a bunch. Let's make a move. Trial day is approaching fast. Right, let's go. Oh, are we good? Du palais de justice. Are you nervous, Falcon? Nope. We've got this case in the bag. Look at my feathers, see? Totally flat ruffled. Wow, well, at least one of us is feeling confident. Oh wait, I should check my Facebook. A delusional artist and photographer. Someone described her video with the H word. That's right, you know the one. Hobo? Probably hobo. Hermit? This is a very awkward conversation. Mr. Falcon, Petit Sparrow-san, is there anything you need me to do? No, we've got a handle on things. Falcon was just telling me how confident he was feeling about the case. Oh, that's wonderful. I just know you two will pull through. Let's move it along, fellas. I'll be watching from inside. Do your best for me, Monsieur Falcon. We will. Yeah, this is gonna go great. It's fantastic. I get to find out how court cases in this work. J.J. Falcon present. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Rupert Rabington present. The readiest prosecution, Your Honor. Oh, darn, that's not it. Oh gosh, where are my notes? Ha! I knew it! Knew what? Rupert and I went to Paris Law School together. He was in all of my classes. Oh, was he smart? No. He always scored the second worst marks in the class. I can only assume that he bumbled through the final exams on the luck of his 2 rabbit's feet. Unless he's improved considerably, you might already have this trial in the bag. That's good to know, but say, Sparrow-son, if Rupert scored the second lowest marks in the class, then who scored the lowest? I choose to exercise my right not to self-incriminate. Here it is. Ahem. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Are the jury all present? All present and accounted for, Your Honor. Hey, Falcon, I thought there were only 6 members of the jury for cases like this. Why do I count 8? Oh, those 2 birds with the funny hats are assessors, the associate judges. Oh, is this actually going to... I don't know if that's actually a court thing back in the days for, like, France at the time. Because this is definitely France, because there's, like, the same that was messaged. Oh gosh, are we there already? Okay, I choose to call the officer in charge of the murder investigation, Inspector Valerity, to the witness stand. Inspector Valerity, please approach the stand and recite the oath. As you will, Your Honor, I speak without hatred and without fear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Monsieur, no, Inspector, please state your name and occupation for the record. My name is Inspector Juste Volati. I am a servant to the law, a scourge of the gutter rats that plague this city. I have enforced the law for over 20 years, and I shall continue until I bring the infamous Viridian killer to justice. My path begins 18 years ago. Let's stick to the questions, Inspector. Of course, Your Honor. Oh, great. I was hoping we could have one of those bumbling, cuddly officers, but instead we're stuck with lawful goody two-shoes. I bet this guy would turn into his own mother if he saw her littering. Inspector, is it true that you're the lead investigator on this case? That is correct. I was among the first to arrive at the scene of the crime. Then perhaps you could walk us through what you missed upon your arrival? Absolutely. Just after 7:30, we were alerted and brought to the scene by the housemaid of Baron Roigel. At the scene of the crime, we found Dame Cataline de Miao. She was standing over the corpse of Monsieur Grenouille, with his blood on her paws. Well, that sounds like an open and shut case in my humble opinion. No more questions, Your Honor. Bloodied paws? Nobody told me that detail. I got this case in the wraps. Keep it together, Falcon. You're about to be given the opportunity to cross-examine the witness. That's your opportunity to find flaws in the inspector's testimony. Of course, I know this. You may begin your cross-examination, Monsieur Falcon. Select a key phrase that you find suspicious, and Falcon will press the information for information. Void for pressing pointless details. The jury don't like having the time wasted. Select a statement to question. Inspector, you say Dame Cataline has blood on her paws. Correct. Blood clung to her fur like guilt to a convict. Whose blood was it? Ha! What a question! It was Monsieur Grenouille's, of course. How can you be so sure? I object. This line of questioning is absurd. There was only one murder victim that night, Falcon. The blood on Dame Cataline's paws could have only belonged to one person. Monsieur Grenouille. Judge! Falcon's trying to delay the trial by asking pointless questions. I'm afraid the prosecution may have a point, Monsieur Falcon. Do you have any reason to suspect the blood belonged to someone other than Monsieur Grenouille? I do, Your Honor. Actually, I have more than a suspicion. I have evidence that the blood on Dame Cataline's paws had nothing to do with the murder. This is foolish time wasting, Falcon. If the blood on Dame Cataline's paws didn't come from the victim, then where did the blood come from? On the evening of the murder, Dame Cataline ate a bloody rare steak. Is this true, Mr. Remington? Well, I, in a manner of speaking, I suppose steak may have been on the menu. Then, Inspector, would you acknowledge the possibility that the blood on the lady's paws did not belong to the victim, but to the stake? Well. Wait. Don't answer that, Inspector. It is a possibility. No. So, Inspector Valerti, is it possible that you arrested an innocent bystander simply for being a messy eater? Now, hold on 1 minute, Falcon. You're overlooking something quite crucial. Dame Caterline is an elegant bourgeois kitchen. She's no doubt brought up with a flawless etiquette and a perfect table manners. At the banquet, she would have eaten the steak with a fork in her left hand and a knife in her right, like any proper civilized animal. How could she have possibly gotten blood on her paws with such good manners? Oh, that is a good question, or at least it would have been at any ordinary dinner banquet. But as it happens, something was missing from that particular banquet. Something that forced Dame Caterline to eat with her paws. Dame Caterline was forced to eat steak with her paws because the silverware of the household had been previously stolen. Stolen? I don't recall any mention of that in the police report. We weren't aware of anything missing from the Roigel residence when we performed the initial investigation. But as it happened, Baron Roigel approached us about this very subject last night. I've fucked up his accent already. What a twist. What is the meaning of all this? Bloody steak? Misplaced silverware? Inspector, was your investigation so lax that you overlooked these basic facts in your initial report? Lax? My investigation? Judge, I assure you that I'm the most thorough investigative officer on the force. Then it is amazing that the Parisian police managed to solve any crimes at all. Heh! Oh dear. Be on your way, Inspector. Perhaps do a little inspecting for your next case. Fine. So be it. Messieurs, until next time. Prosecutor, I trust your next witness is ready? Yes, of course, Your Honor. I call upon, let's see, Monsieur Rubinio, the photographer who attended the banquet on the night of the murder. Monsieur Rubinio, please approach the stand and recite the oath. How does it go? I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. The little cliché, to be perfectly honest. Could the witness please introduce himself for the court record? As if anybody in this courtroom does not immediately recognize me. I'm the great Monsieur Rubinio, cutting-edge photographer and visionary. I don't just take people's picture, I capture their very essence. Je suis l'artiste, tu es un pip. You may have seen my works in hip magazines, Le Brochet or Sechouette. I can send you tweets if you like. Wow. Well, what on earth is a tweet? Bird-to-bird communication. Come on, Falcon, it's the 19th century. Get with the times already. Yes, your works are very impressive, Monsieur Robinho, but let's get down to business. Could you tell us your activities? What your activities were on the night of the murder? Very well. I was hired by Baron Roigel to capture the evening's events. I arrived at 7 in the evening. I pointed my camera and captured the beauty of the banquet in one fantastic photograph. Then I billed Baron Roigel and left. Like a true artist. And with regards to the photograph itself, who did you photograph? I thought you might ask. I brought a copy so you could all see it for yourselves. Oh, very good. Let's take a closer look. My word, this is an exquisite picture, isn't it? Let's see, what do we have here? In the middle, we see Baron Roigel, the lion who hosted the event. On the left, we see Seigneur Trottoir de Miao, the father of the defendant, Dame Caterline. And finally, we see the housemaid Colleen de Ho, who I suspect may have snuck into the picture uninvited. As you can see, two people are clearly absent from the photograph. The first is the victim, Monsieur Grenouille. The second is the defendant, Dame Catherine de Miao. Quite suspicious, wouldn't you agree? Just a moment, Mr. Rabington. This proves nothing. So the defendant and the victim were not photographed with the others. That doesn't mean that they were in the garden together at that point. Hold your horses, Falcon. I'm not done yet. The prosecution may continue. Behind the photograph subjects, we see a wall clock with the time set at 7:30. Now, why is that time significant? Well, as Inspector Valerte told us earlier, that was the exact time the murder took place. Do you see, Falcon? Every suspect has an alibi at the time of the murder, save for Dame Caterline herself. Hey, Falcon. That photograph doesn't seem right. It looks different to the one we borrowed from Rubinio's studio. I see it too. Our photograph shows Colline de Ho, Dame Caterline, and Seigneur Pertois. But Monsieur Robinho's photograph shows Bernroy Girl where Dame Caterline should be standing. If we assume that only one photograph was taken, then this demonstrates that one of the photographs must have been edited in some way. You should just slam that evidence down. Be like, bam, inconsistency. This whole courtroom is out of order. Case closed. I can't do that. Well, I suppose you could be a little more delicate with your words. No, I mean I can't do that because our evidence was illegally obtained. If I were to present it, Monsieur Robinho would ask how we acquired it, and the whole trial would be derailed. In a worst-case scenario, I could lose my legal license, and we would be arrested for theft. Oh. Well, we don't want that. No, we don't. I should tread lightly. Your Honor, I would like to cross-examine the witness. Very well, the defense may proceed. Humph. It's a waste of time if you ask me. Photographs are rock-solid evidence. Let's take a closer look at this photograph. Just to clarify, Monsieur Robinho, photographs are a direct reflection of reality, are they not? That is correct. The photographic process leaves no room for bias or inaccuracies. That is most curious, because I see a mistake. A mistake? Impossible. I just told you, monsieur, the camera's perfect unbiased device. The photographs it produces are flawless. Falcon, I'm not seeing any mistakes. Perhaps you could be more specific. Certainly. Oh. Click on it. The clock in this photograph. There's something not right about it. Wasn't that convenient? The defense sees something wrong with the key piece of evidence that implicates his client. Don't give me that cocky tone, Monsieur Rabington. I have evidence that there's something wrong with the clock in that picture. The photograph clearly shows the clock's hands pointing at 7 and 6. That much is self-evident. Which is most curious because the clock in the lounge of Chateau Cranière has no hands. It has no hands? The clock is merely a decorative piece, a talking item. Feel free to ask Baron Rolgueil or his housemaid if you have doubts. Monsieur Robinho, how do you explain this discrepancy? I don't know. There must be some sort of mistake. My camera is flawless. There is no mistake, monsieur. Your photograph depicts something that doesn't exist in the real world. Maybe there was an error in the printing process. An error precisely where the clock's hand should be? Please, monsieur, don't patronize us. Allow me to offer a more plausible explanation. You, Monsieur Robinho, edited this photograph. Edited? I'm no expert, but I expect they used paint or ink to carefully put hands upon the clock. It would have been a simple task, considering that the clock face was bare. One could even speculate that you specifically chose to include a handless clock in the photograph, just to simplify the editing process. Falcon, your reasoning is absurd. Why would the witness do such a thing? Is it not obvious? By showing the photograph to have taken place at precisely 7:30, It clears all the photograph subjects of suspicion. In other words, Monsieur Robinho created a perfect alibi. Of course, this raises further questions. Who is the witness protecting, and why? Was Monsieur Robinho coerced, bribed, threatened? Enough silence. Let's hear some answers, Monsieur Robinho. Fine, you've got me. I'm guilty. I did it all. You did it? You're confessing to the murder of Monsieur Grenouille? What? No. I have no idea who killed the frog. I'm just admitting that I'm guilty of producing fraudulent photographs. I was ordered to make changes to the printed photographs, and yes, that included adding hands to the clock. You were ordered? By whom? I dare not say. Monsieur Robinho, I strongly advise you to answer the defense's questions. You've pledged to speak without fear, after all. With respect, Judge, I fear his claws more than I fear the punishment of the justice system. I shall name no names. His claws? Did you hear that, Falcon? That is most unfortunate. Monsieur Robinho, we cannot and shall not torture names out of you. We don't live under the ancien regime, after all. But since you have admitted to falsifying evidence, then we cannot keep you on the stand as a witness. Take your leave. You shall be charged with perjury in due course. I can't protest. That's the least I deserve for my failure as an artiste. Good day, messieurs. So the clock's hands were painted on. So what? It doesn't matter. The photograph still depicts Dame Caterline as absent close to the time of the murder. That's significant. Don't be dense, Monsieur Rabington. The photo is not completely genuine, then it cannot be considered reliable evidence. Why not? It's still a portrayal of the night's events. Because except that one part of the picture was edited, then we must accept the possibility that other parts were too. It is possible that Dame Caterline was painted out. Even worse, it is possible that another person was painted in. We know that the witness was trying to cover for someone, so all possibilities must be accounted for. So, what are you saying, Falcon? That the housemaid paid off the photographer? Or was it Seigneur Portoir de Miao, perhaps? I don't think so. The housemaid lacks a means or motive, and it wouldn't make sense for Seigneur Portoir to implicate his own daughter. Well, surely you're not suggesting that the honest and beloved Baron Roygueul deliberately tried to flame Dame Caterline, because that would be the most outlandish theory yet. The Baron is a pillar of our community. He would never do such a thing. Monsieur Remington, I'm not here to throw accusations. That's the job of you, the prosecutor. However, mayhaps I should offer my opinion. Baron, it's not time for your witness testimony yet? So you would think, prosecutor, and yet I see my good reputation getting tarnished by your incompetence. Incompetence? Indeed. Let us proceed with witness questioning. Is that fine with you, Judge? Yes, I suppose that's fine. Very good. And I trust that the defense has no objections? No objections here? Fantastic. Oh, but before I forget, I pledge to speak without fear and prejudice, etc., etc. Now, prosecutor, ask me about what I witnessed over the course of the evening. Okay, Baron Roy girl, on the night of the initial dinner went magnificently. When the photographer arrived, Monsieur Grenouille left to visit the garden. Dame Caterline followed behind him moments later. Seigneur Portoir, Monsieur Robinho, and myself were engaged in conversation, so we paid her no mind. After the photographer had left, my housemaid left to go find Monsieur Grenouille and Dame Caterline. That would be when I heard her cry for help. Thank you, Baron. I think we all know the story from there. I would like to cross-examine the witness. Do you doubt my integrity, garçon? I'm just here to uncover the truth, Baron. Very well, then. Hit me with your best shot. Let us establish, with absolute certainty, that I, Baron Roigel, am an honest man. The defense may proceed with cross-examination. Fuck. You know what? I can actually do something stupid for a second. Baron Roigel, I would like to ask you about the dinner you served that evening. Very well. Ask away. Now, about this red herring. Yes, what about it? I'm not sure, but I feel it's of vital importance to the case. Falcon, I just want to clarify this. Are you saying that you wish to pursue the red herring? Yes, I wish to closely examine the piece of evidence that's overtly labeled as a red herring. That is the type of bird that I am. I see a trail that clearly veers away from my goal, but I follow it anyways. Perhaps that leads to better things. Perhaps it leads to failure. What matters is that my curiosity is satisfied. You're a strange bird, Falcon. The jury are confused by your rambling, but they appreciate your honesty. You don't gain or lose any favor with them! Okay, amazing. To visit the garden. Okay. Baron Roigel, I have a couple of questions about your housemate, Colin Duhot. Here we go. Does your housemate smoke cigars? Well, that question came out of left field. Definitely not. Mademoiselle Duhot detests the smell of tobacco. I see. Putting together a bigger picture, are we? I think so. The pieces are slowly falling into place. Your housemate is a thief. She's stolen numerous valuables from your household, including all of the silverware. I object. It's not a question. Oh, right. Let me rephrase that. Baron, why did you not immediately report to the police when you discovered that your housemate was stealing from you? Is a man obligated to report every act of theft that they witness? Well, not legally, I suppose. I chose not to incriminate the poor girl because I felt it would be needlessly harsh. I know letting a criminal run loose is a foreign concept to many of you lawyer types, but I'm sure you understand the concept of mercy. Okay. Baron, we saw the murder scene, your garden for ourselves. Here we go. Baron Roigel, when was the last time you ventured into your own garden? As it happens, I have quite serious allergies. I haven't been in my own garden for years. Well, that's a lie we just caught you in. Years, you say? Indeed. Baron, I do not wish to call you a liar, but that claim does not hold up to scrutiny. Oh, and why is that? Because we have hard evidence that you visited the garden recently. Balderdash, my word is gold. Show the court this so-called hard evidence that I've been in my garden. This was found in your garden. To be specific, it was found inside the fountain basin, right beside where the murder occurred. A cigar butt? That could belong to anybody. And prosecutor, please shut your mouth. I can speak for myself. Okay. Sorry, Baron. That is indeed the remnants of one of my cigars, but I must apologize, Monsieur Falcon, for I misunderstood your initial question. You see, prior to the banquet, I hadn't visited my own garden in years. But naturally, after hearing the housemaid's cry for help on the evening of the murder, I rushed outside. I was shocked and disgusted by what I saw. That must have been when I dropped my half-smoked cigar in the fountain basin. You see, Falcon, there's a perfectly reasonable explanation. I would find that believable if the cigar were casually discarded, but as it happened, the cigar butt was found in the fountain's upper basin, a location that could only be accessed with great inconvenience. And a little paddling. The cigar butt was not dropped. It was deliberately hidden. There are a number of possible explanations. Are there? Because I can only think of one. That is that you, Baron Reigel, deliberately hid your cigar butt to disguise your own illicit activities. Did I now? And what illicit activities would those be, garçon? You want me to spell it out? Fine. Let's put everything on the table. You, Baron Reigel, murdered Monsieur Grenouille. That is what you were trying to keep hidden. Directly accusing me of murder? How shamelessly brazen. That is a ludicrous accusation, Falcon. The Baron is an upstanding citizen of the highest order. Your allegation is baseless. You have no evidence. No means, motive, or opportunity. No evidence? Think harder, Monsieur Abington. Every piece of evidence points to Baron Reigel as the prime suspect. You want the means? The Baron certainly had the means. His lion's claws are sharp as a surgeon's blade. Gutting a frog belly would be trivial to him. Even Monsieur Robinho confessed just moments ago that he feared his claws. Ridiculous. I would never threaten a man with violence. You want a motive? The Baron had at least 10,000 francs worth of motive. By removing a business partner, the Baron's share of his railway company increased from 1/3 to 1/2. This is preposterous. And finally, the Baron had an opportunity. No, he crafted the perfect opportunity. He arranged a small banquet with a very select number of guests. He was aware of the missing silverware, and yet he served a steak, a food item that necessitates good cutlery. Why? To bloody the hands of his guests, of course. Then he hired an easily influenced photographer and staged a very specific picture in order to build a perfect alibi for himself. Photographing the guests in front of a handless clock to make for an easy editing. It's quite an ingenious plan, it must be said. Prosecutor, are you going to let this slanderous yarn go uncontested? Say something. Object. Oh, you're pitifully useless. After executing the murder, the Baron found himself still holding a single piece of incriminatory evidence. His finished cigar. He knew that leaving it at the crime scene would raise suspicion, but he didn't have time to properly dispose of it. So out of desperation, he threw it into his fountain, out of sight of the guests and any snooping police. I imagine the Baron was hoping to implicate Seigneur Pertois de Miao, since that would ensure total control over his railway company. Alas, Dame Caterline was the first to happen upon the crime scene. So the Baron improvised. This is an outrage. Judge, I demand that you disbar this ranting lunatic. No, there's only one outrage here. That is, that a man like you is able to abuse his wealth and status to frame an innocent girl for murder. You're a bourgeois of the worst kind. How dare you, garçon? The utter nerve for a lying scumbag of a lawyer to accuse a philanthropist like myself of something so heinous. I'm nothing like the fat cat bourgeois. I'm a respectable, hard-working capitalist. No, you're a ruthless man who would slaughter a dear friend just to reap a few francs. You incredulous whelp. I have to gut you right here and now like a damned frog. Could someone please restrain the Baron? I'm on it, Your Honor. Let's go, old man. The concierge with you. Don't touch me, you filthy jackdaw. I can walk myself. This is quite a turn of events. Does the prosecution have anything to add? Well, in the manner of, speaking, well, to be honest, no. Then I shall now confer with the members of the jury to come to a decision. I ask that the animals of the court please be patient in this time. Falcon, that was pretty incredible. Thank you. I just hope it was enough. What do you mean? You just proved Cataline's innocence. We'll get a not guilty verdict for sure. Sparrow son, I think you've misunderstood something important about the justice system. What's that? I haven't proved anything. As lawyers, we cannot deal in proofs. It's just not possible. All we can do is organize the evidence and convincingly explain what it suggests. I haven't proved Dame Cataline's innocence. All I've done is demonstrate that there's a significant possibility that she's not guilty. I'm not sure I understand the difference. We have reached a decision. In light of the recent revelation, it is clear that an error of judgment was made with the initial arrest. On that note, we unanimously find the defendant, Dame Cataline de Meow, to be not guilty. Fuck yeah! And apparently you can totally fuck up and actually get them to be guilty. So, you know, feels good. That was everything I'm going to be showcasing of Aviary Attorney, since there's a whole lot of this game left to go, and I'd rather not spoil it to you folks. As so far, I'm having a blast, so if any of the audience is a fan of Phoenix-Wright games and terrible bird puns and also bilingual bonus language puns and jokes, go for it. Anyways, that was this episode of Crit Hit Versus. Feel free to leave a comment, and I'll try and get to it as soon as possible. And your likes and subscribes are totally appreciated. The bell icon lets you know when we're posting something new, be it an interview, a podcast, or another slice of gameplay. Anyways, I'll see you folks next time.